Good morning and welcome to today's vlog. We are leaving Mount Cook, Aoraki. We're on the way to Lake Tekapo, but first we're gonna take a little stop at Lake Pukaki right here. And as you can see right there, that's Mount Cook that we haven't seen for 2 days when we are at Aoraki. But now we're able to see it, and I wanna take a quick photograph of this Mount Cook right here. Alright, as you can see, the Mount Cook is quite far away, and we have Lake Pukaki on the middle, and then we have some trees at the bottom. And I want to try to take that actual frame right there using a telephoto lens. So I'm having with me right now the GX85 and the 35-100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera to aperture priority f 5.6 and zoom all the way to 100mm right here. All right, as you already noticed from my other vlogs, the way you change the balance between the foreground and the background and all of those elements is by moving up or down. You'll get more or less foreground as you need it. But right now over here, I think this is the perfect balance. So I'm going to take that picture right now. I'm focusing on the Mount Cook itself. I'm not focusing on the foreground. Something like this, really nice. Alright, so I moved a little bit now. I tried to follow a path going down to the lake, but I'm not at the lake. I'm still somewhere in between, and I found this nice green plant right here that I think will work as a foreground. And still, the main object for this photograph is the Mount Cook right there. Again, I'm using the GX85 and my telephoto lens 35-100. Aperture priority f 5.6, auto, everything. Just make it very simple. Actually, what I want to do is I want to exposure lock on this green plants right here so that my image isn't too underexposed. And I'm going to play a little bit with the zoom. Maybe let's try 50. Because I'd like to include a little bit of the tree on the right as a foreground of interest as well, to make the frame more interesting. Something like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing in the camera. And now I want to just zoom in all the way to the mountain itself. Right, very nice. So I moved again a little bit down the path, and I found this berries right here, as you can see on the left side of the frame right here, and also still these green plants. And now that tree is moving to the left, and I found some new trees that I think I can also use as foreground of interest. Same everything, same setting, f 5.6, same camera, same lens, aperture priority. I'm aperture lock at the green plants right there to avoid being underexposed. Again, let me try to take the picture. I think the foreground is a bit too much, so I'm trying to raise my camera. See, that's problem solving right there. Photography isn't all about taking picture, it's also about problem solving. I want to move a little bit to the left to add the berries into my frame. Maybe it works, maybe it won't work. I don't know. Let's try. We have to try first. You'll never know if you haven't tried. Alright, something like this. Yeah, kind of work, kind of not working. I think I found another cool vantage point here. The opening between the trees and the plants on the bottom right there, I think makes as a nice foreground of interest. However, I think when I'm trying it right now, oh, there's a sandfly. When I'm trying it right now, it's a little bit too crowded, so I want to raise my camera a little bit. You can see what I'm doing on the video camera. Alright, something like this, so I can add a little bit more of the lake. Let's try again. Still same setting. Aperture priority f 5.6. Nothing's been changed. Alright. Right, I found another opening right here, which I think is really nice to photograph that Mount Cook over there before the cloud starts to come again. This time, there's not much of foreground, so with telephoto lens, you don't have that obligation to always have a foreground of interest in your image. You can take simpler image using telephoto lens, and that's what I learned from this New Zealand trip. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to photograph Mount Cook without any of the foreground that I'm usually very obsessed with. So just the Mount Cook itself, a little bit of the lake. Maybe I'll raise my camera. Alright, I have to raise the video camera as well. Alright, and add a little bit more of the lake without sacrificing Mount Cook in the frame. Nice. Alright, 100mm. This is quite a tight landscape picture, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Alright, so we have just arrived here at Lake Pukaki, the other side. We were there earlier, but now we are here on the southern part of Lake Pukaki, and we're eating a quick snack right now. Salmon sashimi right here. It was really delicious. And now I want to take some time to take some pictures from this angle of Lake Pukaki and see if I can make something interesting out of this location. Right, I think I found something right here, a nice simple composition involving wide angle lens. Over here you can see this rock, and that rock on the bottom part of Lake Pukaki, and then over there like that land and also the trees and the mountain. I want to try to capture it with a wide angle lens. 8 to 18mm Panasonic G85. I'm at about 14mm aperture priority. I'm gonna go to f5.6. I'm focusing somewhere at the bottom of the lake. I mean the rock that's the nearest to the lake right there. So I'm using this big rock as sort of a foreground of interest. So yes, something like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing in the camera. It's aperture priority, so everything else is quite automatic. I don't really want to mess with the settings and whatnot. If I want a little bit more of the lake, I can always raise my camera like this. You get more of the lake, and then the foreground, midground and background will kind of spread out a little bit. If I want them compressed together, I will just lower my camera. Right now I want to raise it a little bit like this. Alright, nice. Alright, so I tried to find some other wide angle composition again around this area, but to be honest, it's just a little bit too random and too difficult for me, in my opinion, to compose in wide angle. So what I'm doing instead is I'm taking out my 35 to 100 and trying to get a tighter landscape pictures right here and try to get a more focused kind of picture. So let's try to find something. I'm very interested with these trees and that mountain back there. I want to try to capture it using a telephoto lens. So maybe let's try 70mm or something like that. Aperture priority at 5.6. I'm at about 100mm right now. I really like that mountain back there with the trees right there and a little bit of the lake. It makes for a nice horizontal composition. Something like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing in the camera. Yep, I'm zooming out a little bit to about 70 and I'm focusing right there. Really nice. Alright, let's see what else can we find. I like those trees right there, and I want to try to capture it with a little bit of the lake and also the rocks, but nah, not really that good. Let's try to capture that hill area instead and try to add a little bit of the lake and a little bit of the rocks right here. Something like this maybe. Alright, I think it kind of worked. Let's try to capture that mountain once more, but this time vertical composition, and I'm trying to include a little bit of the rocks right here from right there. Okay. Oh, we got a little bit of the flowers as well. That's kind of nice. I like it. And I'm going very low. I hope you can see what I'm doing in the camera. Okay, nice. Something like this. Wow, it kind of works. I'm adding a little bit of the rock to make the frame more interesting. Alright, so we are in Lake Tekapo right now, and this is the Church of the Good Shepherd. But actually I want to try to take some photograph, not just of this church but also of the landscape around this area in Lake Tekapo. I think there are some compositions that I think look nice, and I want to try to capture those using my camera. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so I want to try to capture the photo right here using the 8 to 18mm. I'm at about 10mm, so let's try to go to capture the church while it's not crowded with the beautiful blue sky behind. Aperture priority f5.6. I'm using this bush on the left as sort of a foreground and leading line into the church itself. Let's try horizontal. I'm at about 9. Nice. I'm now switching to my telephoto camera right now, the GX85 with a 35 to 100mm. Aperture priority f5.6. I'm going to try to capture that mountain area with that forest greenery area as well, and a little bit of the lake. So yeah, aperture priority f5.6. Oops, I'm waiting for that person. Or we can move rather than waiting. Alright, something like this. I can zoom out a little bit to about 35, focusing right at the forest area. Something like that. Yep, very nice. Alright, really nice. Let's try that area right there where the forest kind of ends on the left part of the image. I don't really need a foreground. I'll just do it like this. Very simple. I hope you can see what I'm doing in the camera. Still f5.6. I'm at about 60mm. Let's try it again. Alright, it's a beautiful day today. Really nice. I want to try to recapture that area again, but from a different vantage point. Let's walk a little bit higher so I can get more of the lake. Maybe from here. Let's try. Alright, I think we found that area that I was looking for. So yeah, I can get more of the lake by getting slightly higher. Alright, like this, maybe. Alright. Looks nice, looks nice. Let's try that area. Over there, I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit where you can see there's a little bit of that shadow created by the clouds above. I think it looks really nice. Yep, I like it. Very simple landscape picture. With a telephoto lens, it really helps me to focus more on a specific part of the image rather than trying to capture everything. Really nice. And that wraps up today's video. I think this will be my last shot of the day, because after Lake Tekapo we're gonna head to Christchurch, and in Christchurch we're just gonna check into our hotel and eat dinner, and then after that we're gonna rest. I don't think I'm going to do any kind of photography today in Christchurch. So that is all for today's video. I hope that you find today's vlog to be inspiring and also informative, and hopefully you can learn something from today's video. Don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to my channel down below. See you on the next vlog. Thank you and goodbye.